Welcome to today's Explainer. We've got a really fascinating journey ahead of us. We're going to start by looking at a massive structural crisis in our global economy, and then zoom right down into something brilliant you'll probably have in your pocket very soon. We're talking about the architecture of deep authenticity, but today we're putting a huge hyper-focus on its ticketing module. It's called AP Billetaire, and it's a total game changer for how we securely access our favorite events and spaces.
To give you an idea of why this is such a big deal, just listen to this number: $467 billion. According to the OECD and the EU Intellectual Property Office, that is the annual cost of the global counterfeit trade. We're talking 2.3% of all international trade. And hey, this isn't just about knocking off luxury handbags. We're dealing with a massive systemic vulnerability here. Extreme globalization has basically made it impossible for governments and consumers to track what's actually real, and that fuels incredible amounts of fraud and empowers criminal networks.
So, enter Saeed Smalala. He's the architect behind a really profound solution to all this. He basically realized that, in our modern world, we've kind of lost our grip on the actual material truth of objects. Goods move so fast now that if nations and businesses can't verify what's genuine, they literally lose their sovereignty. So his mission? It's simple but powerful. Restore to the world the ability to see material truth and protect it through structural innovation.
Okay, let's dive into our roadmap for today. We're looking at 1. The global trust crisis. 2. The Authenticity Plus ecosystem. 3. Spotlight, AP Billetory. 4. How secure ticketing works. 5. Bridging the digital divide. And 6. The future of smart access. Let's get right to it.
Section 1. The Global Trust Crisis. In our hyper-connected 21st century world, value moves at digital speed. That makes trust our absolute primary currency. But when falsification is everywhere, that trust just crumbles, and it threatens our economies at a civilization level.
The structural response to this threat is something called deep authenticity. Now, this isn't just some basic app. It is the first global infrastructure of material truth. It's designed to bring back certainty, transparency, and sovereignty. Just imagine giving absolutely every physical product, and even intellectual creations, a universal, untamperable digital passport. That's what we're looking at here. Moving to Section 2, the Authenticity Plus ecosystem. How do you actually build a planetary trust network? Well, you have to build a highly integrated technological engine. It basically comes down to 4 interconnected pillars, working perfectly together. Think of it kind of like a highly secure bank. First, you have the AP Ledger blockchain. That's the immutable memory, the vault itself. Then, cryptography with 512-bit security. Those are your unbreakable locks. Third, artificial intelligence acts as intelligent supervision, like a tireless security guard looking for anomalies. And finally, the Internet of Things, or IoT, creates that crucial physical-to-digital link with chips and sensors. Matter, data, logic, and proof, all converging seamlessly. Okay, but let's be real for a second. It is super easy to get lost in high-level terms like 512-bit encryption and global infrastructure. But what does this actually mean for you? How does this sovereign-grade technology trickle down to secure your everyday life? Say when you're just trying to catch a football match or swipe into the subway. That brings us perfectly to Section 3, Spotlight, AP Billetaire. We are zooming all the way in now. For the rest of this explanator, we're hyper-focusing right here, because AP Billetaire is where this giant ecosystem becomes totally tangible for all of us. AP Billetaire is entirely dedicated to the security of access. You know those times you've seen someone screenshot a basic QR code to sneak a buddy into a concert? Or someone buys a fake ticket from a scalper and gets turned away at the door? Yeah, that is completely over. This system takes that military-grade, sovereign-level authentication and applies it directly to ticketing for stadiums, cinemas, and transport systems. It's traceable, it's untamperable, and it fundamentally breaks the scalping industry overnight. Section 4. How secure ticketing works. So how do they actually pull this off? How do we make absolutely sure a ticket is genuinely yours and cannot be copied? The magic is all in something called the AP token. Every single ticket issued becomes a digital certificate of ownership. This token uses cryptography to link the ticket's exact ID directly to you. It timestamps when you got it and keeps a flawless dynamic history of exactly who has owned that ticket. It turns a simple piece of paper or a digital barcode into a completely inviolable chain of possession. Let's walk through what a transfer looks like in the real world. It's actually incredibly simple for the user. First, initialization. The seller starts the transfer on their app. Then, double authentication. The buyer just scans it, and this can even be a super fast smartphone-to-smartphone scan. Instantly, a cryptographic digital signature is generated, which is your new, time-stamped proof of ownership. Finally, synchronization. The whole thing syncs up to the AP Cloud and the blockchain ledger. It takes wildly complex cryptography and makes it feel like an absolute breeze right at the turnstile.
Section 5. Bridging the digital divide. Now, you might be wondering, what if the internet goes down in a massive stadium, or you're somewhere with terrible cell connectivity? A global system is only truly useful if it works for everyone, everywhere, right? Well, AP Billettery solves this beautifully with a dual approach. Obviously, you have the virtual ticket, which lives on your smartphone for a 100% online scan. But for offline situations, they issue a physical ticket. And here's the kicker. It has a unique QR code hidden under a scratch-off layer. So even without a network connection, the system guarantees the exact same level of security and traceability. It's incredibly inclusive and, honestly, practically foolproof. Which leads us to Section 6, the future of smart access. Let's zoom back out and look at the big picture. The real-world applications for this level of smart access are absolutely massive. The use cases cover almost every aspect of daily life. We're talking about securing entry to local cinemas and theaters, managing gigantic crowds at international sports stadiums, tracking access at major congresses and festivals, and even handling daily commutes on buses, trains, and airplanes. And the concrete impacts here are a total win-win-win. For event organizers, it completely eliminates event fraud and vastly reduces printing costs. For users, you get an unforgeable ticket that is super convenient. And for the authorities, it provides real-time, transparent tracking of attendance flows, which is absolutely crucial for crowd safety. It proves that ultimate security doesn't have to sacrifice convenience. Because it digitizes and secures these human and economic flows so well, AP Billettery actually ties right back into some major global goals. As the source material points out, this module directly advances the UN's Sustainable Development Goals, specifically SDG 9 for driving infrastructure innovation, SDG 11 for building sustainable cities, and SDG 16 for promoting transparent and effective institutions.
We started this explainer talking about a multi-billion-dollar crisis of trust. But when you look at something as small as a highly secure digital ticket, you actually start to see the building blocks of the cure. If we can secure our smallest everyday transactions with absolute material truth, how will that unforgeable digital ticket become the foundation for a fully transparent, corruption-free society? It is an amazing question to think about and exactly what the architecture of deep authenticity is working to answer. Thanks so much for joining me today. Keep asking questions, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.